Excited to be here. First of all, my name is Evgeny. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Zerion. How many of you know what Zerion does? Let's do a quick show of hands. Yeah, a lot of you, okay. But there's still some people who haven't heard of it. So just by means of introduction, Zerion is the wallet for people who want to be early. So whether that's like catching the next meme coin or getting like this airdrop or farming some points somewhere, Zerion is your best companion to do that. And in terms of the features themselves, Zerion is like what MetaMask was supposed to be in some sense. So we do much better in tracking your positions as well as securing your transacting experience. But today I really wanted to talk about the on-chain transacting experience and specifically about gas. And I'll talk a little more about why I've decided to call the presentation Zero Gas. You'll see in a moment. So obviously we've noticed that in the past year that Ethereum really scaled. And I'm citing the statistics here that the TPS and number of transactions across the Ethereum ecosystem grew over 10 times, which is an impressive growth. And the gas costs themselves is the major factor in this equation. So all of us, we know that bringing the costs down and allowing more transactions to happen on chain creates way more applications. And this is what we've been witnessing at Zerion firsthand, because running a wallet means that we are supporting many, many chains. And we see how people are actually shifting towards transacting on layer 2s. Obviously, this is connected to the cost of that, but also all the developers are building on all of these new different layer 2s. As I mentioned previously, gas is the major factor that contributed to this huge growth of the ecosystem and expansion in TPS. This is citing from A16Z recent report from September 2024, how Ethereum cost got, like the transfer of USDC was, the cost of transferring USDC was reduced by over 99%. And here the obvious question is, so now it's like in cents range, but why is it not zero? Why haven't we moved the full way? Like, why haven't we actually done this last step? And I wanted to talk about the problems that this still creates for the end user experience. Users still need to pay for every action and every transaction when they do stuff on chain. This creates a fully fragmented user experience because you need to know, okay, I'm on this new layer 2. This is the gas token that I need to be using. I need to bridge every time, not just say USDC to transfer to a friend if they're using a different network, but also you need to bridge the Ethereum or maybe some other token that you haven't heard of to actually start transacting on chain. And we know that gas is like serving the purpose, and the main purpose is really protecting against spam. So here comes the real on-chain dilemma. So obviously lower gas costs creates much more spam on the network. And if we look at Base, for example, where Uniswap is accounting for roughly 50% of all transactions, 60% of all of them are spammy transactions. And this is obviously some meme coins and bots creating fake engagement or creating fake meme coin buyer demand, and et cetera, et cetera. And this is not even talking about kind of more legitimate use cases or more bots that are meant like, say, AI bots or different bots that are just doing trading themselves for profit or arbitrage taking. So the share of spam is actually growing. You can see that this is, now it's like 60, but for chains with lower gas costs, it's even higher than that. And the same report by A16Z shows that about 14 to 27%, only 14 to 27% of all addresses that are monthly active on chain are real users. So this all got us thinking. The reason why this is a problem still, because this is fundamentally not possible to solve in separation. So if we look at the chains, they obviously rely on the gas cost as first their source of income. But second of all, this is protection against spam, as I mentioned previously. And when we talk about wallets and dApps, they would want to create a better user experience, but first users are already paying for the gas cost, and you're not ready to just say I'm like now start sponsoring these transactions for end users. And the second issue with that is they don't know who these users are. Some of them are bots. They cannot really control who they're subsidizing and what kind of actions they're actually spending their marketing money on, essentially. So about a year ago, we at Zerion started thinking, how do we solve this problem on a more fundamental level? How do we eliminate the fees to actually make this final leap and cross the chasm of the crypto industry to kind of make it feel like online while fighting spam and not creating just tons of block space that we are paying for. And this is really how the idea for Zero was born. This is I guess like first time I'm doing this publicly, announcing this is like pure alpha to all of you. We're now in the private mainnet, so I expect a lot of things to be broken. Our team is like hard at work every day for the last couple of weeks just to keep it up and running and to make sure that everything works as expected. So Zero is aiming to be not just the app chain or a generalized chain. So we call it internally a wallet chain, and this idea has been circulating for some time in the industry. So for example, it's citation from Ryan when he's mentioning that there's a possibility for a full stack layer 2. And this is how we see that as well. So our belief is that we can combine the knowledge that we have on the interface level, being the wallet, combining that with the layer 2 experience, we can create something truly magical. And this is what the ultimate user experience on chain looks like to us. So first we start with gas fees. We are completely eliminating them, so you don't need to worry every time you're making a transaction. Second, it's built on top of account abstraction, and this is needed for not needing to migrate to a new type of account. So you can continue using your same EOA wallet with Zero and not pay any fees. Last thing, one more thing is the rewards for on-chain actions. I think this is currently done by usually points, but this is not tracked on-chain. So it's not possible really to attribute specific actions in the wallet to your on-chain transactions. And this is becoming possible with Zero. And the last two things are currently not built, but this is something that we're moving in the direction that we're going to. So chain abstraction would allow you to start transacting from Zero and do any kind of action on other chains without paying the fee on Zero. And second one is the recovery. And this is based on the native account abstraction, as mentioned previously, and it allows you to recover your account from the chain directly. And just to briefly cover how exactly we want to design that. So as I mentioned, we're built on the ZK stack, ZK Sync stack, and it features native account abstraction that allows us to essentially bypass the account abstraction smart contracts flow, and we can directly use your EOA to sign transactions, and as soon as you have the signature, your transaction can go for free. And this is extendable to transactions on other chain, and I think the most important point here is that this is still permissionless. So if you want to transact without having Zerion to sponsor your transactions, you can still do that, because we still have the gas as a baked-in primitive on the chain level. But for most transactions and most users of Zerion, this will not be an issue, and they would feel this magical experience, and they could start with just nothing on their wallet and start growing it. And this last component of the system, as I mentioned previously, fighting spam is an important problem in this direction. And we're upgrading what is called DNA. So DNA stands for Dynamic NFT Avatar, and this is the collection that we launched about 2 years ago. It had a pretty wild success. So it's over 400,000 people who have minted this collection. And this collection is really tracking your on-chain actions in a visual form. So DNA has been evolving quite a bit, and we're now making one more step in the DNA journey. So DNA now becomes your on-chain humanity identificator. And this allows, we're adding the level to the DNA, allowing it to, and this is existing on chain, allowing it to be representation of your humanness in some sense, which we are relying ourselves on, as well as other applications can rely on too. So this is it. Thanks again for a warm welcome of Zero to this world, and excited for you to try the first free NFT on Zero. If you have the Zerion wallet, it should work as expected. Let me know if this is not the case. But we are having the final, really launch party and announcement tomorrow. So if you're interested, join us for the launch party. And I see you around. Thanks.